Everyone, welcome. Thank you for coming. Everybody turn your cell phones off if they're not off. It means a lot to us that you would be here tonight. My name's Kent Tingey. I'm Vice President for Advancement, and on behalf of President Vailas, I really want to thank you for coming. You mean a lot to this institution. The students mean a great deal to us. We are what we are as an institution because of the students, and we're very proud of you and hope that we do all that we can to help you prepare to have great success in a chosen profession or vocation. We're proud of our faculty and students who mean so much, our faculty and staff who mean so much to the students, and thank you for coming and thank you for the wonderful work you do. We're thankful for those of you in the community who help us in so many ways, community events and everything else, and we stand on your shoulders. And as a university, we're known in many ways by what you do, by your support for the institution. And I can tell you truly we couldn't do many of the things that we do and that we're trying to do without you. And so please know on behalf of the President of our appreciation for all you do and support. A couple of weeks ago, Arlo Luke, the President of the Idaho State University Foundation, and I were in Aberdeen asking a prominent agribusiness man there if he would serve on the Idaho State University Foundation Board of Directors for 9 years. And we had not been involved as a foundation in the business community like we need to, in the agriculture business community like we need to, and so we felt it was really important to have representation from that segment of this community on our board. And the very second we asked him to serve for 9 years, he said, absolutely. He said, I am so proud and so pleased at the direction of the university, what you're doing. For that reason, for the last couple of years, I and my family have been much more involved, and I'd love to serve. I'd love to do whatever I can to help you generate support from the agricultural community. It meant a lot to us that he would support what we're doing as an institution under the leadership of President Vailas. One of the main projects we have that you'll see tonight is a anatomy and physiology laboratory in Boise, in Meridian, that's very important for this university in Pocatello and throughout the state because there isn't a facility of this kind in the state. And we had decided under the President's leadership that we would try to raise half of it privately and that we would go to the state, to the legislature, to see if they would fund the other half. And so we went to this very prominent member of the legislature from another part of the state and asked him if he would take it upon himself to lead the legislative charge in meeting with the governor and meeting with other legislators to try to generate the support for funding of this project, which will come up in January. And like this person I spoke about before, he said, absolutely. He said, I am so pleased at the direction of this institution because you're preparing yourself to compete in an ever-competitive society. You're preparing to have the kind of success you need to have to prepare these future leaders who are your students and the economy and economic development for the success we need as a state. So I will certainly take the lead in helping with legislative and executive branches of government to make that come about. We're proud of what's happening, and I want to thank President Vailas for his vision and for his determination and for his efforts to continue to build the university. And with that, let's welcome President Vailas for the 2012 State of the University Address. Thank you again for coming.
Thank you, Ken. And welcome on behalf of our university and our alumni and all of you, friends. Tonight, we have another great story to tell. And it's a different venue here in the Biceline Theater, so it's the ISU Comedy Show. No, I'm only... It is a great story. A university that continues to make a significant impact not only in the state but nationally and as you'll see globally. But before I begin, there's been a significant change in the Vailas family. So here we are. We are proud grandparents of Noelle, and she'll be our next Nobel Prize winner. So, anyway, I think I better put on my glasses. You know, universities, in my view, really were created primarily for economic development over the 100 years, because knowledge will bring economic development. Knowledge is the greatest gift of humanity. And economic development is in basically two parts. They're both integrated. The first is human capital, and the second is new ideas, innovation. And our charge as a university is to create knowledge from existing knowledge, and that's a big charge. Not all universities do that. And we do that, and this other part is to take that knowledge and new knowledge and then use it also in the classroom to create the next generation that will continue that charge. And so the enrollment at Idaho State University continues to grow, even at the time that we've started many years ago, when we had to catch up. And of course we were hit with a great economic downturn. ISU continued to prosper even at the most difficult times. As you can see, that we have continued from last year as we're going into this new enrollment period from the fall through the summer. The results from this whole annual year has been around 3.4% increase. And also the undergraduate headcount has been up, as well as the full-time equivalent continues to increase. Does this, okay, wait a minute. No wonder. I just can't get away from my grandchild. That's our student mix is increasing in a very interesting way. You know, when I first came here, about 97% was from Idaho. And it's, you know, it's great. Our charge is to focus on Idaho, but it's, in order to be global, we have to have a mix of non-resident and also international students. And the university has been doing a great job and continues to do a great job in making it attractive and bringing students from all over the country and from all over the world. I believe we have students from 58 nations now here, and we have all these cultural events and so forth that we share with our community, and it's always packed, and people are very impressed with the sort of worldly view of our visitors and how we can work with each other. And believe me, I believe in my life that education does one thing, is what we know is we don't fear, is what we don't know is what we fear. And education, it really makes the world flat. And basically, it's through education that we will receive a better quality of life, and I think peace throughout the world. You know, our funding model, a lot of it depends on how we are moving people through the pipeline and getting a credential and how many credit hours students take our classes, and that continues to grow. And also our revenue grows with the increase in enrollment in classroom. Also, I want to point out that when we started about a number of years ago, only a few classes and degrees were online. About maybe 12% of our portfolio was online, 8 to 12. Now it's around 25, 26% in just a few years. The online option gives flexibility. Not only does it add to the enrollment, But the average age of our students is around 27 years old. And therefore, their lives are very complicated. Most of them are on financial aid. A lot of them need to work, raise families. And yet the online option gives you that chance to complete your degree as well as the face-to-face classroom. So kudos to all of the leadership and the faculty and so forth that make it possible for students to take their courses in many different ways. Of course, we started an interesting program. They used to call it dual enrollment a few years ago. But ISU has led the charge in a different kind of change. We take this dual enrollment very serious. We call it the early college experience, and we do that in a variety of ways. Number one, is that the faculty in high schools become faculty affiliated with our university, our faculty. And therefore, we work together, both in administration and in faculty, in providing a college education in high school. And the second thing that it does, it improves the confidence of our students that they could do college work and continue on and to begin to grow an affinity towards the university. We are the leading institution, research institution in the state in the early college experience, and we continue to grow that. As you can see here, that both our credit hours and student enrollment in early college continues to increase, and we're very proud of that. We're very proud of the fact that our faculty are very dedicated to this mission as well. They care, and yet we're able to do all these other things and at the same time bridge the university with secondary education, and we're not the ivory tower that people claim that higher education is. We have become the fabric of our citizens, and in many different ways, in human capital and economic development. The number of degrees awarded have continued to change and continue to increase. As you know, the national 60% goal and the state board's goal, we continue to stay on target in improving our graduation and offering more degrees in completion, as well as if you can look at the national sort of concern of science, technology, math, and engineering, the STEM programs, we are definitely on the upward swing in the STEM programs, as well as the portfolio in the health profession is rather extensive. Healthcare is a national and a world problem, and obviously ISU has something really to say about that in the state of Idaho. We are the largest institution providing the most degrees of our health professions in the state. An interesting aspect is we've done a very good job as a university. It's been painful, even at the time of an economic downturn, that everybody has participated in trying to keep tuition at an affordable rate. As you can see here, in our cohorts, that ISU definitely is a great deal. And when we're in the sort of market, it's a competitive market, and yet we are very sensitive to the cost of education to our students. And you can see that ISU does a very good job in being very competitive, but at the same time affordable. This particular aspect is, people say, well, President, you know, when the economy is doing well, tuition goes up. When the economy is not doing well, the tuition goes up. What kind of economics is that? And I say, what we really need to understand is that in the United States, we have fallen so far behind in keeping up with our infrastructure that the increases in tuition are really due to the catch-up of what we need to do. We have about $400 million worth of deferred maintenance. Obviously, we're not going to solve that with just tuition. We're not going to solve it right away either. We have to think out of the box and how we can continue to contribute in a way and be entrepreneurial about how we go about our business. What this slide shows is that the increments of tuition increases, even at a time when the economy wasn't doing so well and we needed the funds, ISU has been, its increases have been a lot less over time. Where other universities, it's gone in the reverse direction. And that's because the students, the faculty, the staff, we have a way of working together to try to share the burden of responsibility and fiscal responsibility to provide a robust education and an affordable education. In another slide, not in this series, you'll see that we're one of the few universities in our country in which we have been reducing the debt. I can't say that about our country, but I can say that about our university. We are reducing our debt. And a debt, as you know, is an obligation. This is just a pie chart of how we've diversified our portfolio. And as you can see, appropriations continue to decline. And, some say that it's going to get worse over time. All that I do want to say is that as citizens, we do have an obligation in our priorities to invest some part of us in education. And I point out to the legislature and the leadership that the state should and always should continue to have a role and a responsibility, a conscious responsibility in the support of education. And we need to stabilize that in a way that we can plan a better future. We can plan to become even more efficient and effective, but we still need the assistance to do that. We have a public mission. A public mission. We serve all students of all life and all challenges. That is one of the greatest things about America. And we need to continue to do that, and we need the support of our citizens to help us do that. And we do have to become more independent, and we're trying to do that. We cannot do that overnight. So your help, your support is very, very important. And you could see the effects of that on our generation. And remember, education is through life. All of us are students too. We have to remember that. You go through many changes in your life. You don't know when and what time. My latest graduate was in her 80s. Still went to school. It's so valuable. So it's important we keep this going. As you know, the competitiveness of trying to get outside support is becoming more and more challenging. And ISU is doing its part, and we continue to have more and more of our faculty very, very productive, very innovative in a way that it is becoming very nationally competitive. And as you can see, our proposals continue to rise. Our expenditures have grown as well. In the legislature, we just turned in our figures about a week or so ago, and we increased those by about 2 or 3%. But, remember, we're coming off a time when the stimulus package has disappeared, all the earmarks are gone, and we're finding different ways in getting extramural support. This is an important aspect of mine. Remember, we're one of the 5% of all the universities in the country that have increased its recognition, its classification to a Carnegie Research High in just 4 years. That is incredible at a time when the economy was not there to help it. So a lot says about the quality of our faculty and also the staff and students to support them that we continue to be a valuable asset to our country. Here, if you look at ISU, think of ISU in sort of in its part, its second part of economic development, and that's innovation. You think of it as Olympic rings. You remember the Olympic rings, how they're interchangeable and they all interlink. Well, if you look at some of the interlinkages that we have energy, we have healthcare, and we have the environment. They're all interdependent. And of course, we have a very robust energy profile. We continue to be a national leader in energy research and applications. We have some national centers. We collaborate with universities within Idaho and outside of Idaho. And we also have built new facilities and continue to expand and be a world leader in energy. We're very fortunate. We're one of the few universities that have a national lab in its backyard. And we continue to work with industry. And what's interesting is a lot of the questions that our faculty are pursuing, we've outgrown our resources, and we need different and better facilities, and we're making a difference in that arena as well. It takes time, it takes a lot of commitment, it takes your help, and basically, as you can see, we continue to provide new ideas, new innovation, and actually diversify our economic profile in our state. Here in the environment, as you know, as the Geological Information Systems, GIS, we've maintained our leadership in that and continue to do so. Applications of many different sorts, everything from natural resources to urban planning, technology and workforce development, as well as research, all is growing at ISU and with other universities about understanding our environment, understanding our space, understanding the elements that interrelate. And here we have a view of our National Accelerator Center. And that Accelerator Center is taking high energy physics and also now is dovetailing into the field of medicine in the development of isotopes and detectors and sensors. And what's interesting, people think the greatest advances of medicine really were not from the biologists alone or the life scientists. It was the marriage of the physical sciences and the life sciences and engineering coming together to provide technology to answer some very, very difficult questions of nature. And this is what's happening at ISU. We are taking everything from the bench to the bedside. And that is phenomenal. We are in the process of consolidating, doing interdisciplinary courses, degrees, and collaborative efforts to try to address the complex problems of humankind. And certainly we have that ability to do that, and we're well on our way. We also have adopted the strategy that we can't provide everything to everyone, and we can't set up every individual, but yet we are emphasizing the opportunity to collaborate, to attain technology that many users can benefit from. And as you can see here, we've invested in some of these public-private partnerships and have these core centers and facilities by which many users use to address certain questions, to be competitive in their fields. And so we are well in changing that profile at our university. Environmental research continues to grow, very important to our health and to our economic future. And with that as well is we have the liberal arts. We are in one of the best facilities, I'm not kidding, in the Intermountain West. You can go anywhere you want to go. And I've been in many of these universities and cities. You're not going to find a beautiful facility like the performing arts here. And so our students not only have this opportunity of innovation, but innovation and creativity in the arts. And some of the arts are marrying the sciences in other sciences. And we're growing in the behavioral sciences and mental health and so forth. As a matter of fact, one of the things you'll be hearing about in the very near future is ISU has embarked for a number of years and growing in the area of neuroscience. Neuroscience, you know, we always think of space and the universe as the last frontier. Well, let me tell you, the brain is a frontier. The human brain. And we have a lot to know, we have a lot to learn, a lot to discover. And you will hear more about that down the road on efforts of offering educational degrees and research opportunities, both in human, non-human, as well as behavioral, mental health, rehab, etc., etc. I will tell that story at another time, but it's a great story. We continue to be known for our excellence in healthcare and how the private sector and private donors continue to support our health mission. We treat 40,000 patients a year. 40,000. This university. For all kinds of problems. Yet we don't have a medical school in Idaho. And yet this university, way before my time, had the vision to enter that field and grow that field in many different ways to help the citizens of Idaho, and in turn generate the kind of resources that we can continue to educate the next generation of healthcare professionals. It's a wonderful story, and a story that takes a lot more time to tell. We are also known for many of the national awards that we get in health treatment. Diabetes, what a complex disease that is, how it affects so many citizens, heart disease, neural function, etc. And many of the work that we do with our faculty and our students, touching our citizens and how we're working with our community. And in rural America, we are the most underserved state in the United States. You know, and we're still, in some ways, not too far ahead of Lewis and Clark when it comes to health care. And it's going to take this university and others and the support of the legislature and our other university systems and colleges to work together in a way to improve healthcare education, medical education, and the benefits of both teaching and research. And this is where we need to be. The College of Technology is a jewel. It's a jewel that basically is not only known in our state, but nationally. The program on energy systems, the average energy worker in the U.S. is around 62 years old. That is not a good thing. Energy is a international crisis. It is the number one priority now of every country. It is the one that really has a great handle on energy is the one in which will prosper and probably able to afford to support other things. Without it, we would not even have good health care or anything else. So energy is the number one target of all nations. And yet this university is very fortunate to have both workforce development in energy, research in energy, education and degrees in energy, and also energy and finance and other areas that are important to energy. We have many collaborations that we're very proud of. Just to mention a few here, you know, as most recently our Museum of Natural History, the only one in the whole state that has taken another turn. Not only is it preserving our past and trying to understand what's happened in our past so we can improve our future, but it has also wide open a door of research opportunities as well as educational opportunities of all citizens, whether they be young or old. What a great mission, what a great story. And now we have been recognized by the Smithsonian, which is a world-class resource for the entire world in our country, and has recognized this university to be one of its affiliates. That does not happen, folks, very often. And the great leadership that we have from our faculty and the students that work with them and the benefactors of the museum all have gotten together, the community, to make this a world-class resource. The work that we're doing with other universities, with BYU Idaho, the College of Business, College of Arts and Letters, all of the efforts that we're doing with collaboration and providing degrees, where one institution may focus on undergraduate education and yet to try to make it streamlined to continue their graduate education here at Idaho State University. A lot of this has been going on and continues to grow. We just opened up an interesting chapter in Idaho educational history. Never has it been done where a public university and a private university is offering a degree together. Now, legally, that was quite a challenge, believe it or not. And yet, we are a pioneer, and we open the door for other collaborations with private institutions as well as our public institution. So, and that was the physician assistance program. And just to sort of demonstrate, as I mentioned before, of the kind of revenue and donations and the impact we have on both our citizens and knowledge that we have, that the past will help us with the future. And we certainly have a great story to tell in that here at our university. As you know, our community for 7 or 8 years had to, in some ways, take care of an empty facility, a high-tech facility that was sort of not doing much once the company left. And on the need that we needed more space, we needed better facilities, better infrastructure, ISU took a bold step and acquired the RISE complex, Research and Innovation, Science and Engineering. And only in a year and a half, many things have started already. And of course, it takes quite a while to take an empty facility, retrofit it, start to bring in programs, make it attractive to not only our professors, but also to other institutions, as well as the private sector and the government sector. And you'll hear a lot about that, and some of you have, and you will hear more about it in the future. Just some of the programs of the facility that's only about a year or so old is quite phenomenal, and yet we have a lot of hope, and we certainly are making it attractive for people to take a hard look at Idaho from other parts of the world, other parts of the country, other universities certainly are in discussion with ISU. I also wanted to point out that there's so much excellence in all of our areas. Fulbright Awards. We had one of our students almost made it to the finalists, the Metropolitan Opera. It is so difficult to compete in a field like music. We talked a lot about science, but if you take music, it's far more competitive. And it is so difficult, and yet we're blessed with a great music program here, and our students are nationally renowned from the great work that we do, our faculty does, and also the facilities that we have. We're taking another bold step. We built a comprehensive health science center. That did not exist in our state. What do we mean by a comprehensive health science center? A place where you teach, you offer degrees, a place where you do research in the same facility, a place where you actually can do other things in the treatment of patients. And the Meridian Center has become a comprehensive health science center, like we have here in eastern Idaho, with our family practice medicine residency programs, our health programs, our research programs here. We now have a correlate in southwest Idaho. Well, we're taking another step, that the anatomy and physiology lab that Kent Tingey talked about. We have great philanthropists who are chairing this initiative to the legislature. This will enhance the accreditation opportunities for not only ISU, but other universities, other colleges, a place where industry can demonstrate needs, a place where we can certify other agencies to receive this education that's difficult to get, and we have to pay for it out of state. This is a great expense to our state. Whenever you rent a program, it costs you more and you build no equity. It's when you grow your program, you build equity. And that's very, very important. Renting is fine on a temporary basis, but if you want to build a future, you have to make the investment. And so the Anatomy Physiology Lab is our #1 capital project, and our anatomy lab, cadaver lab here, is our #1 project for alterations and remodeling. So we're trying to take care of both areas to unite our great state, and we're separated by wonderful mountains and sometimes politically, but we're trying to bring us all together. And that is certainly, we're looking forward to your help and your support making this happen. This is very, very important to our state, not just to our university. You know, 1959 was the last time anything was done to the Pond Student Union facility in terms of a comprehensive update of the entire facility. There's always been some improvements here and there. And yet at a time when we were challenged, we decided to invest in the meeting place of students, student support, and also a place for faculty and community members to come to. And all the renovations we have in the Union now was a worthwhile investment. I hope you have a chance to go and visit that if you haven't already. I'm sure you'll enjoy the food and all the other kinds of support facilities we have in the Union. You know, it's kind of interesting when you talk to donors, and it's sometimes they say, well, I could give more money to Harvard, where I came from, or Stanford, and where I was. And here we have, but it's universities like this that could use our support. And we have been blessed to have the Wheatleys. And Jack Wheatley, the engineer was the engineer campus, the engineer of the Stanford Research Institute. And he took an interest in BYU Provo and changed the entire landscape of BYU Provo. And guess what? He fell in love with ISU, and he's at the helm of changing our campus. And some of the modifications you've seen already was due to Jack. And he will continue to Charles and Jack Wheatley to help us in beautifying our campus, making it more part of our natural environment. It's a tribute to this university, how he feels that it would really make a difference to the citizens and to the students of this university. And this is a man from California. Now, he does have roots in Idaho, but he was in a place in Carmel. And certainly we're very fortunate to have Jack, and Jack continues to help us with our mission. We have also continued to improve and upgrade our facilities in athletics and recreation. We have the new recreation building continues to be improved, and also Sylvia Pappenberg, the Miller Ranch Stadium, and also Holt Arena, which is a national historical site, the first indoor dome built college and universities in the United States, just after the Houston Astrodome. We are making great inroads of Bengalizing our citizens and visitors. We're getting improvements of Bengal gear. As you know, we have these tiger paws coming into the city. Our mayors of our community, Jim Johnson and Valerie Watkins, and been leaders of that effort. And of course, there are many other players, and we thank them for a tradition that started to bring us together to become a university town. That is our future outlook, bringing this historic community with the university. Outreach and community spirit continues to climb. The orange and black. Every Wednesday the students have started a tradition 2 years ago of Orange and Black Wednesday. And, I do have my ISU orange and black, and that's all part of our school spirit. Today was a historic day. Our students, a few years ago, wanted to create a long-lasting symbol, and as you walk outside in front of the Student Union building, you will see this wonderful Bengal tiger, bronze Bengal tiger. The other one that we had that was stuffed fell apart, or the paper mache one. Now we have a real Bengal tiger, and that tiger is ferocious. So maybe someday that tiger will consume the bronco. No, I'm only kidding. But hey, I got to say that, right? But anyway, school spirit continues to grow, and thanks to our community and our students, faculty, and staff for making a lot of improvements in better ways of building that spirit and building the confidence of working together and making a better life here in Idaho. And of course, we really care. It is a university that not only cares of its people, but other countries, and we have many outreach programs. One of them is just recently the Uganda project in Africa with our healthcare program. We are continuing to Bengalize even some of our celebrities, and that was at the Olympic Games. So we have some new Bengals there. And of course, it was very heartwarming. When Governor Otter was here a few weeks ago, he had tears in his eyes when he started to talk about the Charlotte fire and how, the national news, the devastation, we lost about 66 homes. And the response of our community, our university, our community, was so immediate and continues to go on, the support system. It's a tribute to where we live. And we are an ecosystem of people. And we certainly proved that. And it's a story that's very heartwarming, and I appreciate the number of stories that continue to go on, the support that we're providing for one another, the caring. It's an institution that cares. And this is very, very, very important. Despite our challenges, we care about each other. And that is something that touched the hearts of many people, not just Idahoans, but outside of Idaho. The career internship program, the Career Path Internship Program, has received a lot of national attention. It's a program we started a few years ago, modest. We didn't have much to start with, a few $100,000 to start seed the idea, saying, students today are very, very disappointed. They get a degree and they can't get a job. Okay, and of course, what can we do as a university to improve the probability of getting employed? And the faculty, the administration, and all got together and basically worked out something. If we could offer some kind of internship, even with freshmen, where we can bring relevance to their education while they're getting a credential, then they could have that on their portfolio and make that very attractive to an employer. Not only did I get a degree from ISU, but I have a real life experience from Idaho State University. Well, I'm pleased to report that we have been able now to reinvest in that program up to the point now of $1.4 million. And everyone, both the private sector, faculty, all of which part of this program are contributing to this program. The students really enjoy the opportunity to bring relevance to their education and at the same time be competitive in the job market. And hopefully we can do more in the future. I'd like to now sort of give you an example of how the program really touched the lives of a student, of many students, but this one in particular. So bear with me for a moment.
My name is Chris Cole, and I study mass communication, specifically focusing on broadcast journalism, TV. We were just taking our normal writing for television class, and we had Libby Howe came in with Mark Levine, and they had been discussing this idea for a TV show and wanted to talk to us students to see how how we would enjoy that. And we thought it would be a really good experience. And so spring of 2011 came around, and they were looking for 4 paid positions. So they went through the CPI program, and were able to get 4 paid positions between 8 and 15 hours a week. And they hadn't had anybody apply for reporter yet. And as that was what I wanted to do, I was like, I'm going to apply. And got a job. I was the first ever reporter. Makes me feel very distinguished, and it looks really good on a resume. The CPI program stands for Career Path Internship. So you're training to do what you want to do professionally. So like I'm training to be a reporter, but I'm getting paid for it as well. So it basically pays you to do your job, just in an internship setting. There is no technical average day. Every day is kind of a new experience. I get to, one day do interviews and like work with the cameras and the equipment and things like that. The next day I'll be in our video edit lab, and I'll be, editing the video together and recording my voiceover for our story and writing it. And then I'll go in the studio on show day, and I'll, stand in front of the green screen or stand in front of our logo wall, and I'll report and do the whole in front of the camera everything, and it's awesome. I love it.
It takes more than one constituent to make a university. It takes a great faculty, it takes a great student body, it takes a great staff, a great citizenship to make a university. So this university is a great university. As you can see, it has taken a road where it is changing lives through education, the greatest gift of humanity. So this is the state of the state. We're well on our way. We're going to continue. All systems go into the next challenge. We'll be there with you, and we need you to be with us so that we can continue to make a great difference and change lives. So thank you for being here, and after this lecture or this presentation, there's a this presentation, there is a wonderful reception. The purpose of this is that this is an opportunity for you to interchange with one another. We have a number of our faculty, our administration, some of our students here, and it's a chance to be informal, social, get to know one another, and thank you for being here. Appreciate it.